Hi, it's Jason in Jason's Jungle, and today I'm going to do some propagating of my comfrey plants. This is my comfrey. Now I sort of harvest it in stages, and the one in the middle was the last lot I harvested a few weeks ago, and it's already starting to get more flowers back. So I'm going to harvest this at the end, which I left for the bees, and I'll show you how you can propagate more plants. This is Bokken 14, which is a variety that doesn't set seeds, or at least not seeds that can grow into new plants. Now if we look here, you can see that there's no seed pods in these flower heads. So this has to be propagated by root cuttings, which means it doesn't get invasive, which if you have a seed set in one, it can do and grow everywhere. But it means propagating, you have to take cuttings. When I bought this, I got cuttings that were about 2 inches long, which I had to plant out and grow on in pots. But to propagate that way, you've got to dig into the plant. There's an easier way. When I'm harvesting, instead of cutting it, if I pull, now that's giving me a big chunk of that plant there. So there's a new plant, and that's not going to damage the main bulb, the main comb. So that is definitely going to be a new plant. But let's see if I can do it a different way. This one, it doesn't have such a big piece of the root, but that still is probably enough for it to grow. So instead of cutting, if I pull, it brings a little bit of the crown with it, and that is all that's needed to make a brand new plant. So I don't have to dig it up. All I have to do is cut this back, snap it off, and then plant this out, and that will grow into a new plant. So these are the little segments that I've got. Now I've cut that big piece into smaller pieces. I've still got a few bits here that I can plant in by itself. But quite often you just get these small pieces like this that come off. I just trim them right down, so I've got a little bit of stem just to hold it and make it easier to handle. And then all I do is I make a hole in the compost, stick this in so that the roots well in there, and poke it down. So I do that with all of them, and then these will be given good watering and put on capillary matting so that they're kept moist, and then I will forget about them for a couple of weeks. Just make sure the matting's kept wet or moist so that they kept moist, and then when I come back to them after a few weeks, we've got something like this. And that, you can see it's getting its roots coming down the bottom now, and that'll be ready to go out. So I can extend my number of plants under the hedge, in the corners, whatever, and end up with a nice crop next year. I'm not harvesting these this year. Next year, if they've settled in well, I'd harvest them, but I might give them another year after that. And yeah, that's how you propagate your comfrey without digging it up.